Hey, welcome to another video. In this video I'm gonna be going over some of the changes I made to the upgrade mechanic and how I'm gonna implement those changes. Let's get started. So I have made a couple changes to the upgrade mechanic. It's not gonna be the same as it was in the tutorial series. This is me trying to experiment with how it would be implemented in a multi-car game. Let me just show how it's gonna work. So this is basically the garage level where the player or the car will be. Obviously it's not here right now. I'm keeping the car secret for now. So this is how it's gonna work. Once you open the performance, you're gonna see the vehicle's torque. This is the car's current torque, and then as you upgrade the car, this number will change to display the torque at the time. This is pretty much just the shift time, as it says, with the one. Okay, this is in seconds, so it's 1 second. That would implicate manual transmission. I am going to change that. I'm going to decide either between a standard PST or a slightly modified one. I'm still working out the little details about that. And then you have the brake force, which is the front and rear force, and then the traction, which is the friction force multiplier basically. So I'm working off a standard value of 1000 and then multiplying that by the force, and then saying that that is the amount of traction that the car's tires can currently implement when the car is turning and accelerating. So here we have several upgrade options. We have the cylinder heads, the ECU, the exhaust system, the fuel injectors, the intake manifold, the pistons, and then for handling we have brakes and tires. And as you can see, as you hover over them, they become a little bigger, and then it also shows the name there. But then this little screen here will disappear, the one with the stats. As soon as you click on one, it goes away. So as you can see, it says purchased. I have been playing around with these a bit. So this is pretty much how it's gonna work. There is gonna be 5 stages per upgrade level, and it's gonna be stage 1. Once you've purchased stage 1, it's gonna disappear, and then the next time you come back in, it's gonna search these 2. Actually, not even like that. It's gonna be as soon as you purchase whatever stage, it will disappear and then show the following stage. It will always show you the stage that you need to purchase next, apart from at stage 1. Stage 1 is going to show you stage 1, and then after that it'll show you the one that you have not yet purchased. So you'll start off at stage 0 and then gradually go through until you get to stage 5, and then to show the code behind that, so this is the screen, and then over here we have the code. So this is the money load. It pretty much works the same as in the tutorial series, and then the event graph pretty much looks like so. This over here is just to increase the size when you hover over the buttons, just to kind of show that that's the one I'm currently hovering over. And then this is the code for each upgrade mechanic. So as you can see, there is quite a bit of it. These are also the different stages I've gone through. So this over here, as you can see, this was the initial part when I started it. This is what it looked like. This was it. Then we went over to this side, which is a slight difference to the other one. You also have this. This pretty much just says that when you click on the particular button, it needs to hide all other ones that aren't selected. Just keep them hidden. I'll just show what that looks like quickly. So if you go in here and you go performance, so if you click cylinders, it will always show the cylinder head, and if you work on brakes, and then it will close everything else that's not brakes related, and so forth. And then you can't really go back to the stats window. You only see the stats when you initially come into the performance widget. So only when you come back into it, then you'll be able to see the stats. But once you click on any of these, then that's what you will see for the rest of the time that you're in this particular section. So then that's that. And then this is the final form. I trimmed it down to only what is needed for each section, and then this is its final form with the purchase of money and everything like that. So we go through the normal stage, we check if you have the money. If true, then we'll deduct the money, and then we'll get the torque. All of this comes from the PDA, the same PDA that we used for the main menu to display the mesh. So in the PDA, this is what it looks like. So this is what the PDA looks like. It has the skeleton mesh, which is the display mesh. Then it has a torque value front brakes, rear brakes, shift time. I was trying to create my own automatic transmission, didn't work out so well. Then we have in the friction force multipliers over here, and then we have a save slot. That's also didn't go so well, but I did learn something from it, so I'm moving in the right direction. And then from there we get this, and then in the car, this is then how it will be implemented. As you can see here, we have the set torque for the car. We get the torque value, and then it comes from the PDA. We get the torque value, which is this torque value over here. It will then be set in the car, and that's pretty much how we get this one over here also from the PDA. So there's no need to save the value for the PDA, the torque value, because it will just constantly be overwritten and saved regardless of whatever it is. So let me just show you what it is. So remember that the value for the car was 361, right? So we go out and go to the actual PDA for the car, and we put it at like 750, and then we save, and we come back into the performance. So now it's at 750. So that's pretty much going to be how it's going to work. You don't have to save the value itself because the PDA will handle that. And then we just find the booleans. So the booleans aren't necessarily for the torque value, it's more so for the widget telling it which one it should display. It starts off at stage 1, and then once you purchase stage 1, it removes stage 1 and then clicks on stage 2, and then when stage 2 is true, it will then display stage 2. And that's why if you go down to stage 3, which is the one here, it sets to false and then sets stage 3 to true. And if you move down, it pretty much just repeats it over and over again. And then we just save the relevant information, which is the boolean values, and then the money, which is then saved and then loaded accordingly. So then I ran into a slight problem while implementing the system, in that stage 5, if the logic of the system works the way it's supposed to, is that once you set the one to false and the other to true, it will then display it and then set whatever it needs to. So with stage 5 I ran into a problem in that, if we can just show here the load function for one of these. So this is the load functionality. This came from the settings. I borrowed the idea from the settings widget and how it was implemented there, and then just modified it to suit the purposes of this one. So as you can see here, we have the set, we get, and then true, and then false, and so forth and so forth. So with the stage 5, what will happen is, if you wait, let me try and get the one that at the beginning. So this is what it looked like before I made a couple changes. So in stage 5, as you can see here at the end, once you have set stage 5 to true, it would then disable the button and then set the port to install, which then would make it so that if you purchase stage 4 and then say for example you leave the game and then we come back, it will tell you that you have installed stage 5, so meaning you have purchased and then installed, which you actually haven't done. It just says that because there's no extra bypass for it, which is why then, to circumvent that and not have it be that case, I then edit this extra part here, which is the stage 5 purchased. In order to get the disable button and then set the text to install, you then have to actually have stage 5 and have the boolean for purchase be true at the same time, because the stage 5, each stage merely just says that you need to display the following part, its corresponding part. But then, like here in stage 5, it then says disable and then set to install. So by that logic, if we just simplified it to this part, instead of just, if you ignore the bottom code here, if you just followed this logic over here, then once it was shown and you left the game and you came back, it would say that yeah, you've purchased and installed the part, and then you haven't, which would lock you out of acquiring that last bit of upgrade for the car. So that's why then there's the extra step here at the bottom, which then the exhaust stage 5 purchase, which then sets the stage 5 purchase to true, and then also the stage 5 itself to true, so that we can meet the condition that says both of them are true with the end, and then only will it say okay, disable the button, and then it's installed. So then you have nothing else to do after that. That was the way to overcome that little mistake So that is pretty much how the upgrade system is going to work. This is also going to be in the upcoming tutorial series. I am going to have to flush this out a little bit more to test it out if I can reuse the same code across multiple different cards instead of having to have this code be repeated over and over again for each card. So, but this is pretty much how the code is going to work going forward. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I just need to go and correct these ones over here, which are my earlier attempts at what I was doing. But yeah, that's it for this video, and until the next one.